We are back with a recap of the Cavaliers extending their winning streak to 7 games last night in Detroit against the Pistons by the final score of 112-88. And before the game, the Cavs would be without. We learned that the Cavs would be without both Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. Both of them having plays in their games against the Celtics where they kind of came up and it looked like they might have just came up blipping a little bit. And I'm worried that might have been a long-term thing, but I didn't really mention it because they both were able to get back in the game and both be contributors. So I just thought it was kind of maybe some nothing burger plays, maybe something that just hurts in the moment but not actual injuries. And maybe this is just a precautionary holding out because they do have their LA back-to-back coming up. So maybe they're just thinking, the Pistons haven't had a good start to the season. Looks like they're going through another rough year. If they're going to, be cautionary about some of their key players that for any game, it's going to be this one. And I guess if there is a team to do it against, it is the Pistons right now because, again, you don't want to risk having somebody aggravate an injury further on a back-to-back where maybe they don't have to. So we knew this would be a little bit of a challenge for the Cavs. We'll see how they adjust to this against the Pistons. And in the first quarter, it was a bit of a struggle, which, again, you would expect when you lose two of your leading scorers and facilitators when healthy. Again, Darius Garland has missed most of the year already in this early season, but when he is on the court, him and Mitchell are basically doing the bulk of the, getting the ball up the court, if ISO ball, and I feel like, that was a bit of an adjustment that the Cavs had to make. But in the second quarter, they seemed to have clicked, and that's when they really started to put their foot on the gas pedal and started to really take over the game. Kevin Love was tremendous the entire game. He was 2 rebounds away from a triple-double. I saw, some post-game, some quotes like, hey, I wanted to do right by the game and let some other guys get a chance. I don't think anybody would have been mad if he just stayed out there to get 2 more rebounds and then subbed out. I think that would have been fine. I mean, Russell Westbrook did stuff like that for an entire year, and he won MVP. Because, again, averaging a triple-double is an amazing feat, but some of that was just kind of stat padding in games that were already decided. But, if Kevin Love, if he truly feels like he should have, taken a bench to get another guy in that game and that spot, then good on him. The JB Bickerstaff talked about him knowing it and just kind of saying, hey, look, the game says that I should probably be sitting out and somebody else should be getting a chance to showcase themselves. And good on Kevin Love for showing a bit of sportsmanship there, kind of putting his chances of a triple-double aside to let somebody else get on the court and get more minutes. Props to him. Evan Mobley had a career-high 8 blocks in this game. The Cavs Twitter was going off about 7, and then I look at the stats. ESPN says he has 8. So again, it's kind of hard to lose. It's a little easy to lose count once he gets after 5. It's crazy the night that Evan Mobley had because you look at his other stats, nothing too eye-popping. And then you see 8 blocks and he actually did have a really good game on defense. And I feel like Jared Allen did a really good job of solidifying the Cavs' presence in the paint as well as he always does. It's just this game he had, a lot more dunks from Jared Allen. Although I do miss none of them were super ferocious, which I like those ones where it's you see the rim go down and bounce back up and down like a cartoon. But that's just me. If get the ball in the bucket any way you can. But whatever. I feel like throughout the game, Caris LeVert did a really good job in settling into a facilitator role. That's not a role that he is used to playing. It's usually he's getting scoring on the ball with some ISO play and finding ways to score any way possible. But I was really impressed with Caris LeVert being able to find a role for himself in this game that he was needed of him because, again, of the Garland and Mitchell, them being out. Good on Caris LeVert for finding a way to being able to adjust his game to what the game needed from him. And I feel like that's the sign of the entire roster really buying into the Cavs system. I've mentioned this before, but I feel like this was a perfect example of it where, 2 of your biggest stars are out, but, the team keeps on chugging. And again, the Pistons, they're the Pistons. They're not going to be bad forever. Cade Cunningham looked really solid in this game. I feel like the Pistons, they have a good future ahead of them. And, you get enough high draft picks and eventually the dice will fall. At least that's what's happened with the Sixers. I mean, we've seen it happen with the Cavs. The Cavs didn't really even get that good lottery luck. but they were able to, capitalize on their first round draft picks that were higher up in the lottery, and that's where they are now with a couple of savvy trades in there too. I think like Cedi Osman had a bounce back game from the Celtics game where he looked a bit mad. In this game, he was definitely a contributor with his outside shot. In the third quarter, the game got a little more hairy. The Pistons pulled within 10, but pretty much right after that, the Cavs did shut it down pretty much right after. And pretty much for the entire fourth quarter, it was just, they had to play the rest of the 12 minutes of the game somehow. A lot of bench play, Raul Neto getting a lot of minutes. He had a solid game as well. And we get a Lamar Stevens sighting. So if Lamar Stevens gets in the game, you kind of know that it's a blowout one way or the other. So thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, please feel free to leave a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If you have something to say, let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you at the next one.